I'm James O'Brien, and this is the foot on a prop hamstring stretch. So this is a great exercise because you can do it frequently throughout the day. Really, you can just put your foot up on anything. It could be a stair, a chair. That's all I got. That really rhymes with hair. But just put your foot up on anything. And really, when you get good at it, you can actually just do it really off the ground. Okay, but let's show you how to do it. So you're going to walk up to an object. So we'll pretend this is a chair or a physical therapy table. And you're going to put one foot up on there. Now, your knee should be mostly straight to start, and you'll feel a pull in the back of your leg here. But the key here is, and the most important thing is, we're looking to improve hip flexion range of motion, not lumbar range of motion. So we want to make sure we're up nice and tall. My bottom foot is pointed forward. If it's out to the side, then I'm doing more of a inner hamstring stretch. And to start, I'm going to have the toe pointed forward, so it's more of a central hamstring stretch. So I'm going to be up nice and tall. And then I'm going to bend forward slightly at the hip. Right now I'm getting a nice stretch in the back of my thigh. All right. I can change the stretch up by bending the knee slightly, but if I bend the knee, then I need to bend forward more at the hip. And now I feel the stretch more in my upper hamstring rather than where before it was more in my lower hamstring behind my knee. So you can add a little variety to that, but the key remains the same of always bending forward through the hip, not rounding the back. Often we'll see people stretching forward like this, and that's more of a nerve and a fascial stretch, but it's really not necessarily the best thing for your back because you're hyperflexing your lumbar spine, and we want to avoid that. A lot of people, if they're flexible enough, they'll pull their toes up towards them, but for me, my body doesn't really like doing that because I get this strong, nervy stretch, especially if I come forward through my hip. So we want to avoid that. So just go where the toe wants to go, and often it's a little bit pointed forward, so when we do bend forward, we're getting more of a stretch in the back of the hamstrings rather than that sharp pain throughout the whole back of the leg. If you wanted to add a little bit more variety to the stretch as you're bent forward through the hip here, you could turn your body from one direction to the other. Here I'm feeling a nice stretch on my inner hamstring. As I come across like this, I'm feeling more of a stretch on my outer hamstring. So you can always add a little bit of variety to it. So do it with the knee straight, do it with the knee bent, rotate the body side to side, and you'll feel a little bit of a difference in the stretch. It really doesn't matter how high the object is. What really matters is how straight your back is. If the object is up pretty high, it can be a little bit more difficult to keep your back straight. So you don't want something so high that you actually have to round your back to get your leg up there, because that defeats the purpose. All right. So really, it doesn't matter how high it is. It matters what is the angle at your hip, how much are you flexing your hip, and how straight is your knee. The one benefit I would say, though, to bringing it up kind of high like this, as I get into my nice good posture, not only am I stretching my hamstring right now, I actually also feel a little bit of stretch in the front of my hip here. So I'm stretching this hip flexor and I'm stretching this hamstring, double whammy. Normally we hold the stretches for about 2 minutes total. If it's a static stretch, you want to hold it for at least 30 seconds.